What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some key levels to watch for as time goes on, especially as we're seeing some buyers defending Tesla. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Well, guys, this is exactly what we predicted from yesterday. I did say that the market would likely see a bounce move. And if you look at Tesla, it's up 3% so far. SPY and the QQQ are also up 2 to 3%. So we're seeing buyers defending. But the question is, will this continue to hold up? What are some key levels to watch for? And what's happening with the news? Well, I will go over the more specific details a little bit later on, but I just want to say I want to see Tesla try to hold these EMAs right here. As long as we're above the 237 area, we do remain more bullish, and we're going to likely continue this uptrend. If we do lose this, though, if we lose this low right here, that could be a bad sign, but there's no sign of that yet. And so far, the market's trying to uptrend. Tesla, SPY, the QQQ, all of these tickers are in the green right now. As you can see, we're getting a nice bounce on SPY. It's up about 2.4%. And then the QQQ is up about 2.36%. Whereas Tesla's up about, just to clarify, it's up about 3.3%. So I'll talk more about the charts in just a couple of minutes. Let's talk about the news. There's still a lot of headlines circulating about Daniel Ives from Wedbush. He cut his Tesla price target to a larger extent by 43%. Not the best of news. Before he was saying Tesla would likely run to about 550. Now he's saying about 315. He changed his target because of the recessionary fears and also because of the criticisms that Elon Musk is getting, and then also the tariffs that are going to be imposed on different commodities, different vehicles, and etc. So that's why he's fearful. That's the reason why we're seeing the fear that's continuing to hurt Tesla. So you have to keep that in mind. There's also a lot of talk about a recession coming out from different analysts from Goldman Sachs to JP Morgan. Even some important figures at BlackRock are saying that they think the US is already in a recession. So keep that in mind. When it comes to more news, today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I'm saying this because we might see some volatility at 1 p.m. since we have the 3-year notes auction. Then we have Dally from the Fed giving a speech. So we'll see what that leads to. But that's pretty much it. Now, one thing that's interesting is that President Trump gave a deadline for China. He wants them to decrease their tariffs by the end of the day today. If they don't, he's threatening 50% tariffs on them. And he says he's going to impose them as soon as tomorrow. So we'll see how China reacts. As of right now, I haven't really seen any reaction from them. After President Trump increased tariffs on China due to the trade deficits, China increased their tariffs to 34%. And that's why President Trump threatened them back. So we'll see what this leads to just as time goes on. We'll see if China responds or not. If they don't, there could be a lot of volatility tomorrow, depending on how the market responds to this. Despite these threats, the market continues to be resilient and it may continue to push a bit more. But then we'll see if this lasts by tomorrow. So I just want to give you guys a heads up about that. Besides that, I'm not seeing too much on the news. There's been a lot of negotiations going on with a lot of these different countries. The White House has announced that there's about 50 countries that want to negotiate with President Trump about the tariffs. Like I said before, many CEOs, especially BlackRock CEOs, saying the recession is already here. And then besides that, Apple once again is in a tough place with the Chinese tariffs. So we'll have to see how it goes, at least for them, and how they try to offset this. But yes, there's going to likely be more pain to come in the future, despite the short-term bounce in the markets. This is what the earnings calendar looks like. Nothing too crazy thus far. Friday is when we have big bank earnings, so keep that in mind. The fear and greed index is currently at extreme fear. And we're also seeing the put to call option ratio very elevated right now, so it's still affecting things. Anyways, going back right over here, I just want to mention that we're technically on an uptrend for Tesla. If you want to be bearish, just hypothetically, you want to see this essentially lose 237. So if this support breaks right here, we could be dipping back down to 230. And as long as we're above the trend line, see this white trend line, it's very obvious. We're just kind of like bouncing and bouncing off of this over and over again like this. So when we open, if we do come back down to retest like 239, as long as we hold, we're going to likely continue to uptrend for 250 like this. I would like to see a slowly uptrend. As of right now, as long as this white trend line holds, we're looking a bit more bullish, and this could continue to uptrend and make its way up towards these higher levels just for the time being. Now, just in case we do get bad news, make sure you watch your supports, but just know that for the time being, Tesla's looking a bit more bullish as we're seeing an accumulation. And when you look at the 4-hour time frame, It's also looking a bit more bullish, looking for that 248 to 250 targets. So Tesla's looking a bit more bullish right now. So long as we hold the trend line, as long as we don't lose like 237, I think we're going to be completely fine. And I think that we are favoring bulls for now, right? This is just a technical bounce. Not saying it's going to last forever, just for the time being. We're seeing this on SPY. We're bouncing off the trend line. If we hypothetically end up losing 510, this support right here, which is very close to where our EMAs happen to be, I do anticipate we start dumping to the low 500s. If we hold this white trend line, this is going to likely continue to push for the 520s to 525 area. So keep that in mind, especially as we have this high rate over here. I think that there's a good chance we try to retest it as we look bullish on the 30 minutes time frame. The 4 hour is also looking bullish right here, so that could also, be a confluence for 525. So basically, as long as this trend line holds, I do think we're going to be testing 525 as long as we could hold the trend line. If the trend line breaks and we end up losing like 510, I will be a little bit more bearish. But as long as we hold this trend line, we are favoring 525 as a potential target or above into the 530s. So far, we're looking a bit more bullish. On the QQQ, I actually saved this from yesterday. This is the line I drew out. Very similar to what ended up happening. So what's interesting about this is that we're trying to hold support right now. If we lose 425 on the QQQ, we could dip back down towards 416. So watch that support. As long as we hold 425, I'd prefer 430, but just to be safe, you could say 425. We're favoring 440, then eventually move back up to 445 near the 200 EMA. So I'd like to see us hold near the trend line. We're still looking a bit more bullish, so I think we're doing a good job to watch and see if we could hold 425 to 430, especially 430. If that holds, we're looking bullish, favoring a push to slowly grind up towards 440, then eventually 445. For the IWM, we're looking a bit more bullish, making higher lows. We had this trend line we drew out yesterday. If we lose 181, we could dip back down. As long as we hold this trend line, we're looking for 188 as our target. ES is near my target already. It's holding up very, very nicely. We had this drawn out from yesterday, and you guys could see it's very close to my 5,300 targets. If we lose 5150, now we could turn back down to 5,000. If we break past 5275, we're looking a bit more bullish. I'm hoping we continue to push for 5300, so it's looking a bit more bullish so far. I think we might test 5300, and we'll see how it holds up above that. Same thing with NQ. If we lose 17,500, we could turn back down. Or as long as we're above support, we're looking for 18,000 as a target, and 18,100 looks pretty good so far. So the 18,000s look very probable. Bitcoin's looking decent. If we lose 78,000, we could be dipping. If we break 80,000, we're looking bullish. So as of right now, we look a bit more bullish. For Tesla, we're actually making higher lows right here. We could be looking for 245 to 250 as our targets. If we end up losing the support, we could turn back down, but I think we're doing a fantastic job. If we end up breaking past 102.21, we're looking for an attempt to push for 105. If we lose 99, we're looking for a move back down towards 95. We look bullish on Nvidia so far. Let's look for a test of essentially 102. And I want to see it break for confirmation. If we break, then I'm looking for 105 plus. So watch and see if that ends up being the case. Apple needs to hold 185. If we could hold this, I'm looking for a move back up to about 188 to 190. If we lose 182, I will be a little concerned. So as of right now, it looks a little bit more bullish just temporarily. For Coinbase, we look bullish. I would like to see this just not lose 158. If 158 fails, we dip back down. As long as we hold that, we're looking for a move back up to 167. Look, Amazon's pushing exactly as predicted. I did call out 185 plus yesterday, but we need confirmation, of course. So I think it's going to retest this high at 185. If it loses 178, it could turn back down. But as of right now, it favors 185 and 188 looks bullish. Meta, so long as we don't lose 518, we're favoring 541 and eventually 550. Microsoft is looking bullish as long as you don't lose 359. We're actually favoring for a push for 368 to 370, so we look bullish. For Google, as long as we don't lose 150, we're also favoring 153 then 155 as our targets, so watch these levels very closely. The VIX is still weak here, may continue to downtrend, so keep that in mind. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for listening, so please have a great rest of your day. Tesla is still looking bullish right now. I would like to see us hold the trend line just as a confluence, the trend line and then our EMAs right here. But overall, we're doing a good job. and the buyers are defending exactly as you predicted from yesterday. Tesla's now up 4% and should try to continue as time goes on. So watch your supports just to be safe, because we can't always predict what's going to be said about the tariffs. But as of right now, despite threats that have come out and despite all the controversy, the market is trying to bounce. It was due for this just temporarily, and I just want to say that we're looking bullish for now on Tesla. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.